Hello. Well, it's mighty good to be back in front of you today. Just let me know if you cannot hear me. All new setups here. We'll welcome some folks into the house. I don't have chat over here. Let me see if I can see what's going on with chat so I don't have to turn my head so much. So I'll say hello to some folks. It does look like we're live. Hi, Derek and Malia. Malia is listening. She is not here. So thank you for joining. Let's say hello to some folks as more folks flood into the room. Seeker of Truth. Hey, shalom, Derek. Miss you guys. Miss you too. David Price. Good to see you. Richard Parker. Eric Saka. Michelle Mullen. Yoda Master Jedi. Mystery Johnson. I missed somebody there. Finest. Looks like Finest Planet 1. Cindy Adams, Tracy Invernizzi, moderator extraordinaire, as above, so beloved. And there's Malia Bros right there. Hello, everybody. Hello, Malia. And yes, she has the blue wrench. So watch out. Watch your tongue. I wanted to, this is actually, I would say probably, and just let me know if the sound isn't right or something's not going on, and I'll make it, I'll fix it here. We're setting up a new setup for the future because we're going to have a podcast studio, very much kind of like Joe Rogan-esque, multiple cameras and things. And we're going to be really delving into some very deep subject matter with some people. We hope to be able to bring in real people, bring in rabbis, bring in scientists, bring in people and interview them. Also some other channels and bring them from inside the state, obviously. We want to be able to bring people to there, so we want to be able to fly them to wherever we're at so they can sit with us. And so we're trying to put together some things that will really, really help with that. There's a lot of changes that are coming that are very, very good. I apologize for the absence of ourselves on the channels. I can assure you that everything is still very much functioning behind the scenes. This channel, as far as what YouTube does, it's not going to be so relevant to us on this. When you see how we're structuring what's happening in the future, obviously I prepare, and from a technological standpoint we get to be a little creative, and I think it's going to be not just more creative, but it's going to allow you to have better access to this information without worrying. You'll have daily updates on things. It's going to be it's really going to be terrific, but there's a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes. So again, I apologize for the delays, and we're still planning on a fairly large move here across the country, and so we're doing that as well. And I'll give some more updates closer to the end of this. I would like the new folks coming into the room here, and it looks like David Kimberling has just followed on Facebook, and so has Dwayne Ponthier. Yes, thanks so much. And in the future, when people do follow and subscribe and all that during the live show, you'll see it pop up live. So some just entertaining new little fun tools that I've been working with in developing not just this channel, but multitudes of channels with all of their own custom graphics, brands, logos, and people and associations. So we're going to be mounting a lot of different folks here in the near future. Good to see Divine Renegade here as well. Debbie Price, Eric Elliott, Verna Finucane, Faithful Witness. If I mispronounce your name, I mean no disrespect whatsoever. Maureen Hopkins, Michael Jackson, Hillard Ward, Wilfredo Garaballo. Why they make this text in like light gray so I can barely see it. I have to use the specs when they, hold on. Yeah, see, I can see that better. So with that, I wanted to really bring something up that myself and Malia, as we watch and we kind of pay attention to not just some other YouTube channels, but mainstream media, what's taking place in the news, and then look on YouTube and just see what's going on. Now, as you know, all of your YouTube channel, all of your YouTubes have changed dramatically. The suggestions are completely, the recommendations are completely different. They're doing an amazing thing here. So I want to just point out a few things. First of all, let me find go to a browser here, and let's transition to that. Let's bring up that window. So here on Alexa, so just as far as ranking, keyword opportunity breakdown. So this is going to help you with keywords if you're marketing on YouTube and things. But this shows that YouTube is the #2 website on Earth, right? So it's the #2 website on earth, and believe it or not, it's the 11th most viewed website in China, even though the Great Firewall of China has blocked it. So there are ways to get around it, such as VPNs, which we're going to be speaking to you about at length in the future. I've been doing an investigation into VPNs, the information that they are only as good as those that own them. Otherwise, they can be much worse in many cases. So the lighting is just awful. I look like I'm dead or something. How's that? Is that better? Good gosh. Here, try this. Too much light, not enough light. Something happened here. I closed the door and all of the lighting went to hell in a handbasket on this. So hopefully this camera doesn't have a hard time. Wait, sorry. There, that's better. Still, I look like crap. So that's all right. I look like I haven't slept in decades, man. It's like... So again, large website. Obviously, you know, all of you are on YouTube. You're on YouTube constantly. This is how many of you have found most of the information that you've discovered along the way, particularly in your spiritual journey. You find all of these new truths through the recommendations, primarily because it began to focus at that time. The algorithm was actually extremely functional. It really began to focus on the contextual depth of what it was taking from closed caption. And so it would really find out what was in the video you watched, not just the title or the meta tags or anything like that. It would actually find out what within that you found interesting, and it would also look at what you had watched, so it could actually narrow it down and more quickly evaluate what it should recommend to you. Now, this is obviously, I mean, there is an entire Wikipedia page that has quite a bit of detail about YouTube censorship, but this is primarily about where YouTube is being censored in other countries, and oddly enough, not much of it, no matter how much you go through all of this and all the references, not much of it, in fact, very little, maybe even one mention in here of YouTube censoring channels like this one. YouTube itself censoring. So censorship of YouTube is there. That's what you find when you look up YouTube censoring. So I had done this video right here, Peace and Love Censorship Digital Gulag, because right in the middle of a live stream, my live stream was taken down because I had said, a phrase, starting with an M that had to do with a bunch of people with guns that would defend themselves against a corrupt government. So it's kind of in the Constitution, but you can't say that thing. So because they think that you're trying to actually start a war if you do. So I had posted that. Now I'm going to go to this Stephen Yana, or it's actually not a Stephen Yana, excuse me, No More News, Adam Green, and he had Yana Ben Danoon from Stephen Yana on Israeli News Live. Now I'm going to just play this beginning rather than me trying to say it, because Adam really walks through what's happened and what he's recognized with his videos and Israeli News Live videos, specifically on their subject matter. But this same exact thing has taken place with every subject matter that is even remotely controversial. It's almost impossible to find a new content creator YouTube channel that isn't already attached corporately to YouTube, like, I don't know what, Blippi or, I don't know, PewDiePie or some kind of crap like that, where these people have 100 million subscribers. So it's become very corporatized. YouTube itself, as far as content creators, is being shut down in a way that to me is staggering. And I'm going to get into a little bit more of that, because this has to do with the business side of things, where I look at the business of YouTube and never thought that I would see them do this to this degree, because it points to something much darker and much more nefarious. So I'm going to get to that, but I'm going to let Adam Green here. And Adam, please, please don't ding me for this. I apologize. I'm using it with attribution. No More News, folks. Just type in No More News. You'll find him. Adam is infamous. He's awesome. He's incredibly well studied in the subject matter, whether you disagree with him, hate him, despise him, whatever. The guy knows what he's talking about, and he is dedicated like very few people are. There's so many YouTube channels out there, people that pretend like that they're actually bringing you some wisdom, But ultimately, you can ultimately tell that they are just filled with themselves and just trying to gain something for themselves. They really don't have a concern for the well-being of their fellow man, and I believe Adam Green does. And so Yana Bendanoon, and they're talking about the censorship of YouTube on their channel. So I'm going to play this and let you listen to this.
That I've never showed before. And this is the Chabad rabbi. Oh, wait, no, I forgot. I'm doing something else first. Something very important that we got to show. And here we go. This is a incognito signed out of YouTube search of Noahide laws, just to show how YouTube is suppressing and hiding our videos in the search results. I search Noahide laws here, and you can scroll through and see we have the Rebbe in Chabad. We have Mark Biltz, I believe, dismissing it. We've got this channel promoting it, this guy dismissing it. And you can scroll and scroll and scroll and notice all these videos, 7,000 views, 5,000 views, 3.8 thousand views, 3,000 views. Tovia Singer, we'll play a little clip from him today. All of these videos with barely any views. Dr. Brown's got 5,000 views. There's your husband Steve, but notice that's not Israeli News Live's channel. They have your channel and my channel buried and suppressed in the search results. Look, I'll keep scrolling and scrolling. None of my videos are here. I've done maybe, over 5 videos. There's my debate with Dr. Brown showing up on his channel first, even though it's up on my channel and has far more views. It shows his first. Your channel's bigger than his, my channel's bigger than his, but ours are buried.
Yes, now check this out. So if you come up here, mine and Malia's video here. Let me come out of this, back you out of here. Now you're going to see the video here has 50,000 views. 7 Noahide Laws is obviously very much in the title. 50,000 views, and that was streamed March 17, 2019, so not a year ago. This, he has 44,000, and this was just streamed on the 11th. So you can see the videos that he's discussing here, but I'll let him continue.
And I guarantee you we have more likes than his too. And I'm just going to keep scrolling and show that my channel doesn't show up. There's Pastor Chuck Baldwin, who we both had on our show. That's about the first probably good video debunking Noahide laws. And I'll keep going down just to show a little bit more. And to contrast, when I do Noahide laws, no more news, it shows you the #1 search result. Look at this. Is somebody mirroring a video I did. Not even my channel comes up first. But then, truth about Noahide laws, 55,000 views.
So we'll pause when YouTube royalty enters the room. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Naughty Beaver in chat.
Noahide laws equal the end of Christianity, 53,000. Noahide laws, Kabbalah, and one world religion. That's the last time you came on. 6 months ago now. 66,000. Oh, how about that, Yana? 66,000 views 6 months ago. Uh-oh. Get out the Gematria rabbis. Have a freak out. Here's another one, 45,000 views. There's my debate with Dr. Brown, 44,000. So you get the point. 115,000. None of these show up unless you put my name in. So we're buried. They don't want us. They don't want our videos getting out.
Can you hear me? Was my mic muted? Something happened? I just changed. Okay. Wow. So my mic went off. I apologize. I'm going to back up then, folks. So what I'm going to talk about then, I apologize. I'll cut that out when the rebroadcast goes up. I'll find that and I'll slice that out. YouTube allows us to edit those things. So if you want to come back and be able to share this video and not have to tell people, oh, there's some blank spot. The what I'm speaking of is what YouTube has done. I never thought I would see because it's impacting their bottom line. YouTube is going to lose billions of dollars, billions. They haven't seen it on their bottom line yet, so they haven't reacted. But you will probably notice when they do react because YouTube is eliminating content creators like us. This is the vast majority of views on YouTube by and large. So I wish I had the whiteboard here. When we get to the other studio, I'm actually going to have a digital whiteboard that I can just whiteboard in front of me and go to it, and those drawings will appear on the screen. It's quite neat. And but their bottom line itself, what's going to happen is the larger piece of the pie are independent content creators that have 500 to 1,000, 300, 3,000, 10,000, 5,000 really loyal subscribers. They're essentially, they're not going to go away for those channels. The channel that has, like mine, 60,000 subscribers. My subscribers aren't going to go down. They're just not going to climb as fast, if at all. And it's amazing that people don't just come and unsubscribe from your YouTube channel in bunches, particularly when you haven't. I had one day that I had like 450 unsubscribes from my channel, and I hadn't made a video in 3 weeks, and it was all within 1 hour. So that, like 1 hour. So that shows you that obviously, it wasn't, unless somebody held some secret meeting over there, or, Jeffrey Doherty somehow was able to barge into, somebody's chat room or something. But, it's remarkable to watch the different variations, but they are ostracizing different people on YouTube. First of all, they're destroying content creators' dreams and aspirations, because to start a YouTube channel on YouTube and gain any traction today on pretty well any subject matter is really hard as it is, much less all of the different if you want to start a gaming channel on YouTube, they're not cleaning house on that. But if you want to talk about religion, you want to talk about politics, you want to talk about the weather, you want to talk about science, you want to talk about climate alterations, climate forcing, climate change, all of the different elements, forget it. You're never going to gain traction. They have eliminated alternative voices, and they have all but guaranteed that corporate voice structure and that of the cabals will always be spoken, even when they're fighting like they are right now. This is crazy stuff. So I just typed in conspiracy just to give you an idea here in this browser that you're looking at here. And so you're going to see quite interesting Business Insider, The Hill, NBC News, CBS News, CGTN. None of this garbage was what you came to YouTube for conspiracy stuff about. You came to find the real voices. All of these creators, all of them are corporate. Every single one of them. And you can scroll, even when it's this, it will be about, folks. So this is something that I wanted to show you. So as they were searching for Noahide laws, here's something that they did not have. So hold on, Noahide laws. So here's something that they didn't talk about on No More News. That if you go down first, Jewish media, so they're going to tell you what Noahide laws are. Ask rabbis, ask Dr. Brown. So very much a Zionist, Christian Zionist scholar. And then you come down here and you go, oh, well, there's Steve Danoon. Well, no, it's actually not. Minister Holy Grail Church. These are the warnings, the truth about Noahide laws, ask Dr. Brown. So first, what are Noahide laws by supposedly the source? Then to the people that are warning you about people like us. All of these are warnings about what Noahide laws aren't and what people will say. So they're preparing you to hear what they will get to eventually. And even down here, when they first have Adam Green, you'll see it's actually not on Adam Green's channel. It's on his, which he did mention and show. But you have to go down. This is probably the very first one of a person that would show some type of opposition. And it says Ron Taylor has followed. Ron Taylor has followed on Facebook. Thanks, Ron. So this is what we're getting at, is that you're not going to be able to find, and you can scroll and scroll, you're not going to find, regardless of the views, down here, Edelson James, somebody else again, not Adam, even though it's Adam on there, but somebody else sharing his channel, because they have so saturated the system with filtration for No More News and Adam itself. The ADL has gone after him. It's crazy. So anytime one of these organizations that so-called deem you as anti-Semitic, even if you're Jewish, you can be anti-Semitic, you know that by. So this is what's terrifying. So what would you do to find anything that is slightly out of the box and outside the corporate take on any of these subject matters on YouTube? You won't. You're just not gonna anymore. So when you unsubscribe from a channel and you think, oh, well, I'll come across their videos, you won't. You won't do it again. So don't unsubscribe from anybody, because you're never gonna. You're not gonna find it. You can already be subscribed, and they're already being censored because they're not showing any videos on your feed. That happens all the time as well. So what I'm saying is that YouTube is essentially becoming Youtube.Gov. And considering that the law prohibiting the United States government from Enrique Avila is good, thanks for following. Considering that the U.S. government has overturned the law that prevented the U.S. government from using our mainstream media as propaganda, and that was overturned during the Obama administration. So clearly the government had plans on utilizing the mainstream media for propaganda and at the same time shutting down the YouTube and every other social aspect or social component. So for a while we'll be able to wiggle through holes, not have some certain words or keywords, or not say certain words. But I can promise you right now that these things, this clamp, I said long ago, I was trying to find the video, and thank you, Tracy, for trying to help me find it. A video that I said in my trailer at the beginning. I said, the time that the Father had told me that the time to speak is now. Be bold right now. Everybody that can hear, they need to hear now. Not later, now. And it's time to be bold now, because you won't be able to be bold later on. Now that means a lot of things. That means that you may be tortured for being bold, but really it means that first they're going to shut you up. Like I said, they'll tell you, you can be bold, but be bold in your house. Be bold over there. Be bold over there. Just like they allocated when the Nevada ranch mishap went down. They allocated a spot called put a gate, and you had to go inside this fence like frickin' cattle to protest. That was the protester zone. That was a free speech zone. Copy that? They've put a fence in the desert, put people inside that fence like a corral, and called that a free speech zone. Crazy, right? Make no mistake about it. You think you're free? Think again. So things are closing in. There's no question about it. And as more evidence, Zuckerberg requests government rules on what discourse should be allowed. Now, what kind of crackhead maniac CEO would ask government to come in and close the doors and to decide? I mean, this dude, it really is remarkable. But also disclosure has taken place inside the Pentagon's secret UFO program. Now check this out. I'm using this because we'll see if they kind of mark this as, UFO and conspiracy theory. But the reality is, look at this publication and who it is. Popular Mechanics. Interesting. Oh, I think you can't actually see that. There you go. Popular Mechanics. So, crazy, right? Well, this is the world that we're living in. And also, just in case you missed it, like something out of the book of Exodus, locust armies are devouring entire farms in Kenya in as little as 30 seconds. You could go on and on. Every single day, there could be something new in the world that is exactly what Scripture tells you is going on. And these locust clouds can be seen from satellites. So it is no joke, folks. It's remarkable that so many people don't actually recognize what is going on in our world. Now, I have known Matt Drudge for a long time, and I guess they're making a movie about him. But Drudge Report is an interesting site if you don't look at Drudge. Now, you don't have to necessarily read the articles, but what Drudge does is he gives you an overview of every single news story that is important to all sides of the cabal. So you watch the cabal's, really their little spat, their fight, coming out right here on Drudge. So let me go back to that browser there, show you what that is. I'm sorry. So go to Drudge Report. If you don't know where it's at, Drudge Report, DRUDGEREPORT.com, drudgereport.com. Drudge Report, like I said, is really just a glance at what's going on within the cabal. So that will tell you, remember, as above, so below. So everything that has taken place in the physical world will be seen here, and sometimes they get into the non-physical or the spiritual world here. But soon I'll have a chair that actually slides at the new location. I'll just be able to slide from the screen. Sorry, and this thing won't go out of focus like it just did. So that's primarily, I think, probably because I don't have enough light in here or something. Anyway, trying not to wash y'all out. So that's really what I wanted to cover today. And also, I always like to do a little something before I close the show, because I'm going to close this show with this. But first and foremost, I'm going to give a little bit of an update. As I said, we're going to be talking about VPNs, something very, very important. If you're using a VPN, continue to use your VPN for right now. Just don't commit to long-term contracts or anything with them. But everybody should be using a VPN, no question about it, and it's going to get worse. And this is exactly why. So tracking your behaviors, checking your browsing habits, determining what they actually will and will not market to you, determining which sites you can and cannot go to. All of these things, all of these technological grips are closing. I can tell you from a technological standpoint, looking at this, it's closing, and it's closing far more rapidly than anybody knows. So I really just wanted to set off the alarm, let you know that there will be more shows. A Rightly Divided channel is going to be a dedicated channel specifically over there. You're going to love it. Malia is going to be driving content there. She knows exactly what she's doing. Rightly Divided channel will be specifically what we talked about on that, and that's going to be changed. We're going to be bringing other personalities, other people on that we think can help fulfill these things from time to time. People are asking about my family. My nephew was, I didn't know this nephew, and I didn't know his mother, but I do know his grandmother, which is my sister through another marriage in my family. But my nephew was murdered. And so we had a fundraiser, a GoFundMe that is still up in the community section on the channel. We're trying to raise a little bit of money to help. She has to pay for burying her own son, and she doesn't have a job. And right now she was unemployed at the time. She was looking for a job, and she had an interview the next day, which she had to still go to, even though her son had just been murdered. But she needed to be able to pay for his funeral, and she still doesn't have those costs. So we have that fundraiser there if anybody feels the need to contribute. Alton Moore has followed on Facebook. Good to see that. Thanks so much. And I'm going to go to chat before we go and I close with this video. So let's go to chat, and I'll see if I can see any questions or anything and bring some folks up. So Tom Hamilton says, don't despair, everyone. Will not reach everyone at the same time. You have reached thousands. Yes, I do not despair. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. And I really, really do appreciate the amount of encouragement that I've received has been just, it's been beautiful. And thank you so much for everybody for your positive thoughts to both Malia and I. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate those that have continued to support the channel. And just know that we are not going away. We're really preparing for what we believe is to come. So it's to me, it's quite alarming what is to come. So, but again, we're going to try to do that in a very sweet spirit. Divine Renegade, Strong Lady, yes. Let me see who else we have here. Go ahead, and if you have any questions for me, just try to put those in chat in all caps. Christina Leja says, so happy I was able to catch your live show, Derek. I'm happy you were able to catch it as well. Despina says, warmest prayers. Thank you so much. Thank you, Derek. All your good souls here, says Mesh Gleason. Thanks so much. King of Kings, world credit score. Yes, there will be a world credit score. There's no question. There's going to be a social credit score where you'll be a social pariah. So, red letter, or not the red letter, scarlet letter. Please, brother, more. Charles Kelly says, yes, there will be much more. And I'm going to be doing, many people have referred to the old style of Global Witness, and I'm going to be doing those daily. And what's going to be what, is just the daily bread. And I'm going to go through a scripture every single day. And that will cover a whole series. And I will do 365 of them, one for each day of the year. And that way you can just go back and it'll be that date. It's not going to be that year date, but on that date you watch that video and you can watch that over and over and over. And I believe that you'll probably get something new from it every time you do. And I'm also encouraging, hopefully Molly will do it, for her to have a daily bread on Rightly Divided where she can give that from the female perspective. So I just really thought that would be a lot of fun. So Wits says, Finding Joe, I'm right here. Totally, Wits. That's a great movie, isn't it? If you haven't seen that, Finding Joe. It's remarkable. It's the story of Christ in every story you've ever heard. You can't say you've never heard it because it's literally in almost every song, in every major movie. The Christ story is everywhere. Debbie Price said, see how depressed I was when I woke up and saw I missed it all. You didn't miss anything. You're here. Let me see what else we have. Mesh Gleason, good to see you. S. Rose, Chubby King. Let me see. Sarah C., good to see you. Another moderator. Christina McDonald, good to see you here as well. Dr. Julie James, DSNM. Eden Brothers, Park Seed, and many others. All seeds, non-GMO and organic at great prices. Well, I don't necessarily want people market on here, but that's a good marketing thing. If you're going to buy something, definitely buy non-GMO seeds and start preparing for a much more difficult time. Now, I'm going to be getting into also, and we hope to be able to interview some more of these folks like Ben Davidson and John Vogt, or John Vogt. No, that's not the right name. Anyways, I can't remember his name, but from the Diehold Foundation and Suspicious Observer. So we will be trying to interview these folks because the realization that the world is finding out, particularly the scientific community finding out about our sun and just how much that controls things, you begin to recognize quite instantly that the ancients worshiping the sun were doing so for good reason, because that thing does some amazing stuff that really just kind of turns everything to mush on a consistent basis. So definitely something that people don't want you knowing about within these government systems, because then you don't like paying taxes and cooperating with their evil schemes. So BS Alert Buddy says, at Global Witness, you should do a comprehensive show on the work of Stan Tenen. Thank you. I don't know who Stan is. I've heard the name, and I'll take a look at it and let you know. Mystery Booms Inc. Maurice Moore, you know what? Just this morning, we had these massive mystery booms here in Arizona, and nobody around here knows. The police have no idea what it was. But last night also, I believe that it was a satellite that was re-entering the atmosphere and burning up, because it was a bright blue. It wasn't typical of what I've seen of asteroid behavior, but it was bright blue, very, very large over the western sky. If you saw that last night, raise your hand. This is crazy how this camera is doing some funky stuff, folks. I'm sorry, faulty equipment. But this is what happens when you put together new systems. Becky Perry says, the change you wish to see begins within you. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Through love, Christina says, love, gratitude, prayers comes from many blessings. Thank you very much. So I'm going to close with this video. And this is a video that I made some time ago. And you cannot like her. You can say that she was a reptilian or whatever. And I've been called a reptilian lately, by the way. So I'm going to try to input some special effects through After Effects in here so I can put on a reptilian face and morph myself on camera to, set the other channels off like I'm really a reptilian. But come on, you can have fun sometimes. These people are so nuts. But I made this video, and this has Maya Angelou in it. So I just wanted to close with this, say that I love all of you, and I will be back. And it's not going to take me 3 weeks. You will see me very, very, very soon. And I'm going to start playing this.
Love. I think love is that condition in the human spirit so profound that it allows us to forgive. And it may be the energy which keeps the stars in the firmament. I'm not sure. It may be the energy which keeps the blood running smoothly through our veins. I'm not sure, but it's something beyond the explanation. It can be used, any good thing you can explain. There's a book called Lessons in Truth. And in the book, there's a line which is, God loves me. And when I came to read it to my then mentor, I read, God loves me. And he said, read it again. And I said, God loves me. He said, read it again. Read it again. And finally, I said, God loves me. It still humbles me that this force, which made leaves and fleas and stars and rivers and you, loves me, Maya Angelou. It's amazing. I can do anything and do it well. Any good thing, I can do it. That's why I am who I am. Yes, because God loves me and I'm amazed at it and grateful